Hey everyone, Andrew back again, and welcome to my first horror movie update for the month of July 2015. Got a few titles to show you, a lot of slashes in this update. Did an order with Amazon.com about 3 weeks ago, my first order in quite a while, so that was nice to get a lot of cool recent releases in that. And I also picked up another couple of titles from a couple of other websites. Anyway, with that being said, let's get on to the pickups. So we're going to start with DVDs first. Alright, and to kickstart the update, we have Flesh Eater with Bill Heinzman. Not only did he direct this movie, but he also starred in it. And I'm sure a lot of you Night of the Living Dead fans are familiar with this guy because he was the main zombie in George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead. Essentially, this is a very similar movie to that. This is a B-movie zombie flick, and it's super cheesy, borderline too cheesy. I thought this was decent, nothing too good or amazing, but it was decent, and I definitely got something out of it. That's all I really have to say on it. The acting was very iffy. And essentially it plays out very, very similar to Night of the Living Dead. Bill Heinzman was definitely the standout within this film. There are some pretty good gore effects in this and some nice kills. But yeah, it was decent, and that's all I really have to say on Flesh Eater. And last for the DVDs, we have Billy Club, and this is a slasher movie that's been getting quite a bit of buzz around YouTube. It's been out for a while now, and I'm kind of late to the party, but I finally got around to picking it up. And this was really good. I wouldn't say I was absolutely blown away by it. There were some things that I disliked about it, but there were also quite a few things that I liked about the movie as well. The main thing I liked about it, and it was definitely the most important the most important aspect of the movie, and it really is for any slasher film, and that was the killer himself. The killer was awesome. Now, this movie centers around baseball, and the killer was disguised in a baseball umpire's outfit, and he had a really nasty looking baseball bat with nails sticking out of it and a little knife blade at the end of the bat, and that's what he used for the kills. And there were some really, really well done kills in this one. My favourite one was the head smash scene with the baseball bat. That looked awesome, and it was super gory. It had a pretty decent body count, and the story was interesting. It sort of was a done in flashback style story. I won't spoil too much. And the story definitely got better as the movie went on, but there were just certain scenes and parts of the movie that I was a little bit iffy on. Some of the acting was a little bit iffy, but overall it was really good, and I would definitely recommend it if you're a fan of slasher movies. Okay, and moving on to the Blu-rays now, and this is one slasher movie that I highly recommend, and that is Charlie's Farm. This is an Aussie movie from last year, I believe. And yeah, this was absolutely awesome. This has been getting a little bit of buzz. I've heard a few people say pretty positive things about it recently. It's only been out for a few weeks, and I believe it's been out in the UK for a couple of weeks, and I have no idea about the US. But yeah, an Aussie slasher, and this was one that was done exceptionally well. Very similar to the Hatchet series, and I really hope that this actually turns into a series like Hatchet. This one stars Kane Hodder, Bill Moseley, and Tara Reid, and the rest of the cast were Aussie actors, and the cast was pretty good. Apart from Tara Reid, who was decent, the rest of the cast were really, really good. But yeah, this plays out just like a traditional slasher would. They didn't really try to do anything different, and it worked really well. This is what they needed to do, and it was perfect in my opinion. The killer was awesome. There were some really nice kills in this one as well, and a pretty good storyline too. So yeah, I'm not really going to talk too much because I want to do a separate review on this movie, but all I'm going to say is I highly recommend this to all slasher fans. It was awesome. Next up we have another modern slasher called Dream Home, and this is an Asian slasher and it's absolutely brilliant. I've talked about this movie before, I own it on DVD, and when I found out this was getting a Blu-ray release in the UK, I was all over it. This release is from Zavvi.com, and I probably should have looked it up. Network Releasing put this one out by the looks of it, and this looks like a really good release. It comes with a booklet, and I have not checked out the transfer yet, but I'm expecting it to look really, really good, being a modern movie. But this is an amazing slasher movie. I really cannot fault it. The killer's awesome. She's a female killer, and you really don't get that too much in a slasher movie, so the movie sort of stands out for that. I don't think there's too many Asian slasher movies either, or at least that I've seen or know of, so that's awesome. And this movie is really violent, it's really brutal, some absolutely amazing kills and really gory, and a pretty good storyline as well for a slasher. So yeah, I can't recommend Dream Home enough. It's amazing, and really glad that it got a Blu-ray release. Next up we have Silent Night Deadly Night, the 30th Anniversary Edition Blu-ray. And I'd been putting off picking up this Blu-ray for a while. It has been out for a good while now, and I almost didn't even bother picking it up. But it was really cheap. I'm a massive fan of this movie, but from everything I've heard, this is a pretty disappointing release. The transfer is not meant to be very good at all, which is a shame because I had high expectations for this movie when it was to get a Blu-ray release, and I've heard this is very lackluster. But being such a big fan of the film, I wanted to own it on Blu-ray, add it to the collection, so we'll see. I haven't checked out the transfer as of yet, but I'm saving that for Christmas time, so hopefully it's good enough, but still it was cheap and I wanted to add it to my slasher Blu-ray collection. But that being said, the movie itself is awesome. I'm sure most of you have seen it. It's a classic, so that's Silent Night Deadly Night. Next up we have Madman, and this is a whole different story to the Silent Night Deadly Night release. I've heard this is a fantastic addition from Vinegar Syndrome, and this is the alternate artwork, which I really, really like a lot. I love the colour scheme and just the artwork design itself. It's pretty cool. This is a pretty underrated slasher in my opinion. I think it's a really, really good slasher movie from the 80s, but not too many people ever really seem to mention it when it comes to 80s slasher films. But I do highly recommend it if you've never seen it before, and I have not checked out this release yet, but from reviews and other people talking about it, it's meant to be fantastic. It's a 2-disc set, and I cannot wait to watch this movie in Blu-ray form because it's been a while since I've seen it, so I will be putting this Blu-ray in very, very soon. But yeah, Madman is an awesome slasher, and really happy to see it get a Blu-ray release. Next up, I went ahead and picked up the Scream Factory releases of Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3. So this now completes this series on Blu-ray, as Scream Factory previously released the original Sleepaway Camp on Blu-ray as well. Really, really happy they brought all three to the Blu-ray format. It's a really fun 80s slasher series, especially the original movie. And what can I say? Scream have done a really, really good job with these releases. Solid releases all round, and I'm a big fan of the artwork on the slipcovers. So pretty awesome. Scream released all three, and I'm glad to add them to the collection. Next up we have another Scream Factory release, and it's another double feature. I love these double features. This one is Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2. I've checked out Ghoulies 2 on the Blu-ray, as I'd never seen it before, but I have seen Ghoulies, the first one, many times, and it's cheesy fun, you know. Ghoulies 2 is definitely the better movie and the one I prefer. I love the setting of Ghoulies too. It's all based around a carnival, and I love those sort of settings in horror movies. And yeah, it was really, really good. Enjoyable cast of characters. The Ghoulies themselves, the creatures, looked absolutely awesome. There were some nice effects throughout. And the movie looked great on Blu-ray. It looked really, really good. Another very impressive double feature set from Scream Factory. So if you're a fan of these movies or cheesy, fun 80s creature features and you've never seen Ghoulies 1 or 2, highly recommend it, and I highly recommend this release from Scream Factory. I know it's a little bit random, but I really, really loved the menus, the disc menu. I loved the images and the colour scheme. It was pretty awesome. So yeah, that's Ghoulies 1 and 2. Next up we have the last Scream Factory release for this update, and that is Legend of Hell House. This is the alternate artwork. I prefer the colour scheme on this artwork with the black background. I have not checked out this movie yet. I've never seen it before, and it's a film that I've known about for a while, but I've never really heard too many people talk about. But I was in the mood to pick up another classic haunted house movie, so I decided to pick this one up. I'm probably going to save this and watch it during October. So that's really all I have to say on Legend of Hell House. I've heard it's a pretty good release, so if you've seen this movie, let me know what you think of it. Next up from Synapse Films, we have Long Weekend, and this is a Australian, I guess you'd sort of call it an Ozploitation thriller horror movie from the late 70s. And I've only seen this movie once before, and it was a while ago, but it was really good. I did enjoy it quite a bit. And it's not really one that gets mentioned too often when it comes to Australian movies. This Blu-ray was pretty inexpensive, so I decided it was worth upgrading my DVD copy for the Blu-ray. I have not checked out the transfer as of yet, but knowing Synapse Films and some of the other releases that I own from them, this release is probably absolutely fantastic. So yeah, if you've never seen Long Weekend before and you're a fan of Aussie movies, I do definitely recommend it. It's a really good one from the late 70s. It's about a couple who are having problems and they go away for the weekend, obviously, and basically they do stuff to piss off nature and nature fights back. Really, really good, as I said, so I do definitely recommend Long Weekend. And last but certainly not least, we have Society, and this is the recent US Arrow Films release, or Arrow Video release. And I'm going to be completely honest, I basically picked this release up solely for the artwork and the actual release itself. I'd never seen the movie before, I've never really heard too much about it, which I'm really, really surprised at actually upon watching it, because this movie was amazing, I loved it. But yeah, this is an excellent release, top quality again from Arrow Video. It's a 2-disc set, comes with a comic or graphic novel and a booklet and a couple of postcards. But the artwork on this box set is absolutely brilliant, and the artwork is a pretty good representation of what the movie is all about. I'm not really going to give too much away, but wow, this movie was amazing. I loved it. The storyline was really, really intriguing and interesting, and it's pretty much like no other horror movie that I have ever seen before. The ending was surreal, it was bizarre, it was fascinating, and the gore effects were absolutely incredible. Some of the most bizarre yet amazing gore effects that I have ever seen in any film, and I'm a massive gore fan. I've seen a lot of gore, but this was outstanding. Yeah, it was quite a long build up to the end, but the entire movie, the storyline was really intriguing and interesting the whole time. I definitely was never bored throughout the movie, even though not a lot happens for the majority of the film. The characters and story development were fantastic though, and if it wasn't for that, the movie definitely would have not been anywhere near as amazing as it was. But yeah, if you've never seen Society, I highly recommend checking it out. It's like no other movie out there. It's surreal, it's bizarre, it's fascinating, intriguing, interesting. Just everything. It was incredible. I loved it. And I highly recommend this release. It looked really good on Blu-ray. And yeah, once again, Arrow Video have released another awesome edition. So that's Society. Alright, so that does it for my most recent horror Blu-ray and DVD pickups. Definitely let me know what you think of the movies I have added into the collection. And the two movies I recommend the most from this update are Charlie's Farm and Society. So if you've never seen those two movies, check them out. They get my highest recommendation. Both of them were amazing, especially Society. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed the update and thank you for watching.